happening right now in Los Angeles defies every logic in basketball. And if you don't feel that pit in your stomach, you're simply not paying attention. We were on the edge of the abyss. The Lakers' fate seemed sealed on that cursed night of April 2nd against OKC. When Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, the heart and the motor of this offense, went down, the silence in the arena was deafening. The NBA world was already writing our obituary. They talked about a sweep. They talked about early vacations. But what nobody counted on was the soul of this roster. What's up, Lakers Nation? Samir here. And I'm going to tell you straight. What I've been seeing these last 3 weeks gives me chills. We're leading the series against the Houston Rockets 2-0. But don't let the score fool you. This isn't luck. It's a high-stakes chess match where every piece is being moved under unbearable pressure. Close your eyes and visualize Game 1. Houston arrives without Kevin Durant, and everyone thinks this will be easy. But those guys came out swinging, biting on defense, forcing turnover after turnover. The ball seemed to burn in our players' hands. But then, out of nowhere, the improbable happened. Luke Kennard decided the rim was the size of the ocean. He didn't miss. 27 points, 5 triples. A surgical performance that kept our heads above water while Houston suffocated on their own mistakes, shooting a dismal 37%. It was a relief, a 107-98 victory that gave us life. But what really worries me isn't Houston without Durant. The real trouble started when he came back for Game 2. The tension at the Staples Center was palpable. The return of their superstar should have been our end, right? Wrong. And here is the strategic genius that few are talking about. The Lakers didn't just play basketball. They played a game of harassment. We doubled Durant. We forced the ball out of his hands like every player's life depended on it. The result? Durant, the unstoppable, committed 9 of the team's 15 turnovers. Houston mentally imploded, crashing to 24% from beyond the arc. But here's the insider perspective no one tells you on the news. This strategy is dangerous. We are playing on the edge of exhaustion. The locker room knows you can't maintain this level of defensive aggression without paying a physical price. The front office is on high alert, monitoring every single minute of LeBron, who had to carry the load with 28 points and 7 assists. We're winning, yes, but we're burning the reserve fuel way too early. If Alperen Şengün or Jabari Smith Jr. wake up and decide to punish those double teams, this house of cards could start to shake. Game 2 completely flipped the narrative that Game 1 was a fluke. When our efficiency dropped from 60% to 45%, we saw who was truly willing to die on the court for this jersey. Kennard proved it wasn't a one-hit wonder, dropping another 23 points. And what can we say about Marcus Smart? 25 points, 5 threes. The guy is
playing with an energy that makes it look like he was born to wear purple and gold. And then there's Rui Hachimura, our silent sniper, hitting 50% from deep this postseason. This shows that the group has locked in. There's a pact in that locker room. They know that without Luka and Reeves, the system has to be perfect. The defensive intensity that started back in March is now our DNA. We held Houston, an explosive team, under 100 points in back-to-back games for the first time in months. That's historic. That's brutal. That's Lakers basketball. But now, the scenery changes. We are heading into enemy territory. Game 3 in Houston will be the ultimate test. What happens if Kennard's shots stop falling? What happens if the fatigue hits LeBron's 38-year-old legs? We are operating with zero margin for error. The potential return of Austin Reeves later in the series is the light at the end of the tunnel. But until then, the weight of the world is on the shoulders of these men, who are heroes today, but could be villains tomorrow if the double Durant strategy fails. The impact on the future of the franchise is immense. If we win this series under these conditions, we prove the system is bigger than the individuals. If we lose our grip in Houston, the questions about roster depth will come back with a vengeance. We are living a moment of glory balanced on the edge of a razor. With every possession, every forced turnover, the heart of Lakers Nation stops for a second. It's A. A roller coaster where the peak is an improbable title and the drop is a painful collapse. The question that remains, and the one I'm asking you now, is this survival without our stars proof of a championship heart? Or are we just delaying the inevitable against a sleeping giant that's about to wake up? Is this the beginning of a new dynasty built on grit, or the final gasp of a wounded giant? Comment below, because I want to feel your pulse on this. What would you do if you were the coach right now? Keep doubling Durant or trust the one-on-one? Smash the like button to strengthen our bond and subscribe, because if it's this hot now, imagine Game 3. Let's go, because this is Lakers.